Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mark Manson Media, and we are live here on YouTube. And Kelsey's GiveSendGo should be pinned to the top of the chat. Let's double checking that right now as we speak. Let me take a look here. Make sure that is pinned. Yes, it is. It's pinned. Yeah, Kelsey's GiveSendGo is pinned. Okay, perfect. All right, we're good to go there. All right, good to hear. All right, I got the video all set to go. There's a lot of shows on tonight. We're going to probably have like 5 people tuning in, but hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you to everybody that bought a t-shirt from my store yesterday, by the way. I do appreciate that. Sarah B. Creative's here. Tammy's here. Mullen Law's here. Audrey says she's not going to be at this tonight, the select board meeting, obviously. Not going to be there. I got a lot on my mind. I'm sorry, folks. Not going to be at the GiveSendGo tonight. Excuse me. Not going to be at the select board meeting tonight. There we go. Right, now I'm back on the same page. All right. Just had a lot of stuff going on before this show. Thank you, Michelle, for getting your Massachusetts hoodie. Appreciate that. I said I had a lot going on before the show, so it was like a rat race just to get here on time, get set up on time. Then the computer was acting up. Hadn't used the computer since after yesterday's show, and it was all freezing. So I'm like, let me reboot the computer. It's like every week I have to update Google Chrome now because Google Chrome does weekly updates, and if you don't do those weekly updates, then your computer freezes. I mean, your tabs will start freezing. So I have to, like, every week before a show, like, double check it, make sure it's up to date. Make sure that's done. If not, it's like, okay, what the hell? So, so that happens. So it's all good to go. It's all good to say. We're ready to stream this fundraiser tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Michelle, hello. RHM, hello. I watched some of Melanie Little. I have not watched all of Melanie Little. I was able to catch only so much, but I had a lot going on today, so I apologize. I haven't been able to tune in to everything here. Let's just get this links out. YouTube is changing up the way they're set up and everything, so it's just tougher to follow right now. It's like, where's the share button? Where's the like button? Where's this? Where's that? Looks like Mr. Betterow was in Brooklyn today. Just getting the video out there on X. Lauren Caidyn and Mullen Law will be joining me too as well on this show. All right. The link is now out there. Perfect. Oh, the special emojis, you mean? Yeah. That's funny. What's going on, Ranger Joe? The meeting will convene at 7 p.m. So they are doing it. Okay. They are doing the meeting tonight. It's just, we'll say it's at a different location. Kelsey's GiveSendGo is pinned, by the way. We'll see if we can do another Kelsey fundraiser soon. I'll be working on that, of course. There will be another one. There will be another one as we wait here. I don't have my fan remote, do I? Wonderful. Sarah B. Creative. In the house. All right. Getting some videos out there. Getting some links out there. All right, we're good to go. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Side Eyes Jess, what's going on? Good to see you. If you upset Side Eyes Jess, she'll give you the side eye. Like that. Audrey Elliott in the chat right now will not be at the select board tonight. Has some things going on. We'll see if anybody else is going to speak out tonight. If not, we'll get right into the show. Here we go. Okay. Let's get set up here. I do like their style, how they yeah, they're in a different location tonight. Half Hammer's here. You're watching you're watching North Andover Select Board. We'll be live in just a few minutes, everyone. Please take your seats. We're available on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 20C. Yeah, no Audrey tonight at the Select Board. No turkey. Marked safe from the turkey. A lot of shows on tonight, too. Melanie Little's doing a great job, as always. You're watching Government Cam. Up next, the North Andover Select Board meeting. Oh, you're having turkey tonight, Half Hammer? That's cool. All right. It's always a suspenseful wait here. These select board meetings in North Andover have in no way, shape, or form even touched, besides Audrey's efforts, have no way in any shape or form touched the Canton select boards in terms of, oh, wow, lobster, that sounds good. With the exception of Audrey, nobody in this town has even come forward other than those three guys that one night, which was right after the trial. So I'm anticipating just a couple people coming up, talking about other things tonight. We'll see if anybody comes up and talks about Kelsey Fitzsimmons or whomever else. But this select board is not. Audrey's done her best to, here we go.
Good evening and welcome to the June 15th meeting of the North Andover Select Board. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. and ask that you stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now move into public comment. Per the Select Board policy, public comment is not a discussion, debate, or dialogue between citizens and the Select Board. It is a citizen's opportunity to express his or her opinion on issues of town business. The board may respond to public comment by taking it under consideration when deliberating on an agenda item or referring the item to the administration for appropriate action or response. Public comment shall be for a brief period of up to 15 minutes, with speakers being allowed 3 minutes to present their material. Is anybody here for public comment? Okay, just proceed up to the microphone.
Okay, here we go. I'm guessing other matters.
And just identify yourself and your address.
Hi, my name is, I don't know if I need this, but it's Nicole Frail. I live at 254 Great Pond Road, and I'm here basically to just inform the select board of my disappointment in your decision to grant Marble Ridge Winery an entertainment license. I feel like, well, I don't feel like this is a residential area. It is a residential area. All of the houses are very close together. I can hear conversations occurring in the yard across the street from me. And granting somebody an entertainment license to have outdoor bands with speakers, to me, is a violation of my rights as a property owner and taxpayer in the town of North Andover. I don't know how this decision was arrived at, but from the research I've done, it appears that Brigg has been allowed to circumvent zoning laws in North Andover based on the fact that he was granted certain rights under the Dover Amendment. I don't know if anybody on the select board has researched what the Dover Amendment is all about. I really hope you have, given that a large amount of what he's doing is protected by that agreement. But anybody that looks at the outline and the basically the rules under the Dover Agreement and knows what Brig is doing at Marble Ridge Winery would know that he does not satisfy the Dover Amendment requirements. The Dover Amendment requires you to be primarily a farm. You are to plant and harvest agricultural products and use those products to sell. He does not do that. He does not harvest grapes. He has planted a vineyard. Those grapes are not harvested, at least not today. And even if they were, there is no way the amount of grapes that he could harvest from 198 vines could satisfy the requirements under that amendment or under that agreement. I harvest more from my backyard container gardens than he does on that farm. And I know because I live directly across from him. I've never seen those vines harvested. And he has admitted to myself, along with many people who actually go and tour the vineyard, that he gets his grapes and his juice from California. None of it comes from those vines. So to be able to circumvent zoning laws that are in place to protect residents,
You have
like
about 10 seconds.
Yep, like myself, it's just not right, and it shouldn't have been allowed to happen. I'm super, super disappointed.
Okay. All right. Who we got here? This could be our Rita Lombardi. Could this be our Rita Lombardi?
My name is Nancy Leland. I live at 270 Great Pond Road, so I'm a direct abutter to the Marble Ridge Winery.
Oh, for God's
And I
sakes.
just wanted to take this opportunity to sort of run through some of the background of what's been going on at the site as far as the town is concerned. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but he was operating without a certificate of occupancy. And so he had to come into the town and be able to get all of his permits. One of those requirements was with the planning board, and he had an approved parking plan that he had agreed to with the town. There were several times when I did have to send pictures into Gene Enright because he was violating his parking plan. And so apparently he was spoken to by the building inspector regarding the parking. But most notably, excuse me, most notably, March 17th, he went in for a public hearing and was requesting an insubstantial change to his parking plan. And that was denied by the planning board because they wanted public input and for us to be notified as abutters. But then on April 16th, he had a private event, and rather than having 15 parking spaces, he had 37 cars out in the field. So he was given a notice of zoning violation by our building inspector. As far as you are concerned, as the select board, I'm not sure if you're aware of some of the issues that he's having with his liquor license, and I brought this to the attention of the town clerk. And he was given a notice regarding, he was advertising BYOB, bring your own booze, and that was on his website. And apparently this is something where he was effectively conducting unlicensed alcohol service. May 22nd, he was also given a notice from our town clerk because he was advertising that he was going to be selling fortified wine. His product was going to be fortified with tequila, bourbon, and or rum. And so that was in her letter to him. She said that likely exceeded the scope of the establishment's current licensing authority. So this was brought and referred to town council. So that's the first issue that is town council is now paying attention to. So the question that I have on this is, how do we monitor private events in the future for compliance with the town clerk's letter? I'm not quite
You
sure
have
how
about
we're going to
10
do that.
seconds.
Pardon?
You have 10 seconds.
10 seconds? Okay.
10 more seconds of misery.
Matters still to be resolved. The entertainment license, I guess it's up for review, 6 months. He has yet not had any outdoor entertainment.
The time is
Yeah.
up.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
10 seconds, she said. Yeah. If I hear one more damn thing about grapes and wine. Okay, this guy was waiting to get up earlier until he got beat to the microphone by this girl.
Hello. My name is Mark Bohr. I live at 10 Heath Circle. And I'm bringing a citizen's request to ask you to reconsider the composting program in the schools,
Oh, for the
to
love of God.
reinstate it in the school's budget for 26-27. And I just had a few points just to make about it. The first thing is that it does save 130,000 pounds per year from going to landfill.
That last lady
These
cost this show
materials
9
then
viewers.
Can be returned to the soil and to use and to the schools. The second thing is that it's in the category of the right thing to do. The same way that you recycle, this is just something that we should do. We should compost if we can.
The show has lost 4 more
And
viewers since this
I
guy
feel like
sat
we
down.
can.
This guy's getting us all the way down
And
to
the
0.
third thing is I retired this month.
Now we're down to 12
and I've
viewers.
been working as a substitute teacher in the schools. So I've been seeing the kids do this every day at lunch. And I feel that overall, it may even be the most important thing in terms of an education.
Buddy, we're going to have
value,
0 viewers
other
on this
than
show
to
if you
see how
continue
to do
talking.
it,
I'm telling you,
that
you're
it
hurting
can
the
be
show
done,
badly.
and that it's important to do, and that our town cares about this. So that value alone is
The
reason
show is
to
now down to
continue the
12
compost
viewers
program.
because of you.
And I feel like for the cost of it, I just feel like there should be a way to find it. I know everything adds up and it's a cost. So I also understood that Black Earth was willing to negotiate on the price, and so that could even also play into reducing the price. That's what I heard. So I just feel like this is the right thing to do, and we should find a way to get it back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His time was not up, but she just said thank you to
Is
get
anyone
him
else
out
here
of
for public comment?
Yes. Is anyone here to talk about something we're actually concerned about? Okay.
We're going to head into licensing. So
Okay. Goodbye. All done. Okay. That was horrible. Lauren and Lori will be joining the show when they are free in the next couple moments. From now on, maybe I'll just tell a couple of jokes. Maybe we can have a couple of jokes here, but that's that. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about, just laughing at Sarah's comment there. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Kelsey's case right now. What's going on with Kelsey? What's going on out there? And what is going on in the world in general as it pertains to North Andover, Officer Noonan, old Noonan, and all that stuff. It's just hard to believe that it has been so long since the trial. That's crazy to believe at this point that that's now been end of March and all that. So just absolutely, yeah, it's been a while. It's been crazy. It's all of a sudden here we are in June. It's nearly the 4th of July, all that stuff. And here to join us, attorney Lori Mullen. Hello.
I was asleep, Mark.
Oh yeah, I was too, listening to all that stuff. Something about wine. Something about
dozed
wine
off.
was being yeah.
Yeah.
I like the first lady though. She had me engaged. Like I was focused. I'm like, she's ready to put up a fight here. The next lady got up and she's like, well, actually, I'm like, I'm looking at the viewership totals, and when that lady started talking, my numbers went from like low to like all the way down. I'm like, we're gonna be down to 0. And when that guy got up, I'm like, we're going for 0. We're going for 0 tonight. There's a lot of shows right now. It's like there's like 5 shows on right now, so it's it's gonna be tough.
I may need a cow story to bring everybody.
Exactly. We're gonna retell the cow in order to get our viewership at least above 50. We're gonna tell a cow story tonight here on Madison
Oh
Media.
my God.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
That was really bad.
Horrible. How have you been?
I'm great. How are you doing? You had the day off today.
I did. Yeah,
That's
did some
awesome.
griddling and enjoyed the weather and all that. And
Yeah, you're
did some work.
enjoying your griddle.
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah.
I have like a Webster grill, a Weber grill, and I never was really using it much. And then last year I bought like the flat top to go on it, and like now I use it so much more. Like it's so great, because you can cook anything on it. It's like I'll do stir fry. Oh, I'm gonna go out and do it on the grill. Anything you want to do, you can do on the grill now. So I really enjoy grilling.
I'm so pumped up for it. I've been using it, and like that's what I wanted it for, because like I used to love Sakura Japan at the mall.
Yep.
For all those, when I used to actually go to a mall, which I think I've been to the mall once or twice. Maybe I go to the mall once a year tops. So I'm like, I'd love to have that kind of ability to cook like that on a flat surface, because when I do it in a giant skillet, it's like it's not
enough.
No, it's not enough. Only so much of the food can hit the bottom of that skillet at a time.
Right.
And it's like, I can't cook this thoroughly. Now that I got this thing, it's like, this is amazing.
Right. And it heats up so fast, you know,
It does.
and it's like, it does everything so quickly. I love, I mean, that was like a game changer for me when I went
Yeah.
from like actually grilling to griddle topping.
Yeah.
It was actually a big change, but I love it too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. It's
Can't
awesome.
wait to like pull that thing out every, like whatever, April 1st, like whatever. Are we done with the
Yeah.
snow? Bring that
Yep.
thing up here, you know?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got so pumped up for mine. I'm like, the cleanup's like the hardest part. Like I had to learn the cleanup process and like
Yes.
how to season it, all that stuff. Now I'm kind
Yeah.
of got the hang of it. So I'm
Right.
happy with that. So
Listen, I just like the idea of like, especially, you know, you I think you work in an office all day and like I work
Yep.
all day inside or whatever.
yeah.
I love to be able to be outside. and
Yes.
be cooking. Like it's like when I'm home, I just want to be outside. I don't, and when
Yeah.
it's nice out, I don't want to be inside cooking. I don't want to be doing that
Yeah.
stuff. So it makes it a little more enjoyable. It's kind of like, oh, this is cool. I'm outside hanging out, you know, having my polar seltzer and just living life large, right? Which one you
Prickly
get?
pear,
I love
guava
the
fruit
prickly
punch.
pear.
This is amazing. Oh my
Really
goodness. I
good.
tried it recently and I was just like, this is unbelievable.
They have the best flavors, you know. One of
They
my
do.
favorite ones is, I don't know if you've ever tried it before, but I haven't been able to find it lately, but it's vanilla pear. Have you
Oh,
ever?
I've not had that. Never.
It's so good. It smells so good too. It's like, it just smells delicious. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
You got to get
Hey,
Lauren
Lauren.
a trucker hat, Maza.
I know. I got to make the
know.
trucker hats.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's like,
Even
is
if
there
you
a
just
trucker
do
hat?
one for Lauren.
Yeah, I will. I got it on my
They're my
list. I
favorite.
took a list. Yeah.
Yay.
Everybody was messaging, everyone was giving their, like, I figured that when I was doing the store, I was like, I'm going to do what I think would be the essential stuff. And then I think from there, the audience will tell me what else they want. And
Oh,
sure
yeah.
enough, like coffee mugs were coming up yesterday and the trucker caps. I'm like, that was my plan. I'm like, I'm going to put an original release of items and then I'll let the audience will tell me what they wanted from
They
there.
will. They're not shy. And
Yeah.
and that's why I was saying to you, even like someone had commented and I was like, that'd be perfect because you do all the barbecuing and everything else. The apron thing is a great idea.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the
Let me
black
tell you.
you know, like, I'd be out there in my grill, grilling out there. And I'd be like, I'm going to have my Mazda vibes going on out here at my grill. Like, I think it's so on brand for you, you know?
Yeah.
And some of the ladies in my chat have thought about Mazda in an apron. So I think it would be a big seller.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
saying.
You can
They
model
have.
for us,
They
honestly.
literally have.
Yeah. That's funny.
But I definitely want to see the red because I take the dog out for a walk every day, and
Yeah.
one of the streets I go on is kind of busy, so I always like to be in a really bright color
Yeah.
when I'm walking him, just so that I don't get hit by cars. I mean, luckily so far I haven't. But that would be like a great, like to do the red with the black. That would look really cool. I definitely would order something like that for sure.
Absolutely.
That would look good.
I just noted that you've suggested that on my notes. Next time I sit down to do that stuff, I'll put that together. I thought about that too, a red shirt. So I'm like,
That would
red
be cool.
shirt.
Because that red's a good red. That's a really good
is.
red
It
that you
is.
have.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
true
well,
red, you know?
Yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. I can't wait. It takes a while to get that store going, but I was like, okay, I got the hang of it, got the logos going, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, this is great.
Mhm.
It's
It looks
exciting.
great.
It
Thank
does.
you. Appreciate
Mhm.
it. Is that a Dodgers hat you're wearing? Like a variation of a Dodgers hat?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. We had the Scotland fans from the World Cup at Fenway Park yesterday. I'm sure you guys heard about that. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
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 My son lives in Boston. He lives right on Beacon Hill. And he said like Boston was just on fire yesterday with like all the Scottish there. He was just loving the vibe walking around the city. Everybody's so friendly. They're all like so talkative and they got that great accent, you know. And he had a lot of my son's very like I know it's going to be hard to believe, but he's very outgoing, sociable. Anyway, so he just stop and talk to people, you know. And so he was like talking to a lot of the people there. He's like, oh, I wish they would just stay here. They bring so much to the city, you know. But it was great, really great.
That's awesome. It's been an awesome time. It's just been, like I said, the Scotland fans fit Massachusetts so well in terms of their energy and their just their excitement, enthusiasm, which kind of just, they feel like a glove around here. It's like, these people can stay. You guys can
They
stay.
could stay. Like we could use that kind of positivity, and
Yeah.
I mean, kilts and bagpipes and singing. I mean, like
Yeah.
and I am a descendant of the Clan McIsaac, so just
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
very cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, love our Scottish friends and all that's been awesome. The World Cup was amazing. The sports has been tough for me lately because the only gripe I've had is that I wish the World Cup waited about a couple extra days to begin because of the NHL and the NBA. And I'm happy the NHL and NBA closed up shop this past week. I'm okay, good. Just because I don't like to have everything on top of themselves. And it's like once hockey and like I'm struggling right now to keep up with Proctor News just because it's like every night it's got to watch the NBA, got to watch the NHL, got to watch this or watch that. And then it's like, oh my goodness, it's now the World Cup starting, and the news all day long is tonight there's a game at Gillette or the USA soccer team's playing tonight, and it's like, oh, I can't keep up with all this, all it's just too much between work and games. It's like, okay, let's slow it down. Now NHL and NBA are out of the way. Now I can focus on the World Cup. Now I'm good. So
cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any plans to attend? I know the tickets are like unbelievably expensive. So.
Yeah, they're way too expensive. Yeah. From what I understand, it's just I know a buddy of mine is huge into soccer. Portugal is his team, and he's like, no, I'm not going to the games because they're just going to the prices they want for them are just through the roof. And the parking, the driving down there was nuts. And the parking, they blocked off like half of Gillette's parking on the north side of the south side of the end zone, I think. And people park in the lot, so you're just basically finding parking wherever you can. So
I mean, they actually closed. As I go to the Mass General facility there, and I got an email from them saying they're like, we're closed. We're like, you can't come here. Like, and so for in terms of like when you're going, and like even like I want to say, was it this week they were offering like valet parking, but like now this week they're like, yeah, don't come here. They got enough stuff going on. Find someplace else for your medical care. We're too busy. But
right. Yeah, it's just too busy. But yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's a great time of year. And
it's great that we got to host it. I mean, it's awesome. My son said they have like a really good system in the city. Because he was worried. He's like, because people come and they think Foxborough is Boston. Like it's kind of sold as it's Boston. Like come to Boston and watch the World Cup. Well, it's not in Boston. It's in just like the Patriots. They're not in Boston. They're in Foxborough. But he said that they did like they opened up obviously all the public transport, and they have like signs everywhere. They're really being very good about making sure people can get there to the stadium and whatnot. It's actually making it really, really super easy for people if you already have your tickets and you can afford such a thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I know it's great. It's great for the city. I love it.
Yeah. I'm pumped up about it, and it's nice because again, it's a special event which we don't usually get. And I don't remember ever having the World Cup in New England that I can even recall in my life. I remember like international games being played there, but never something to the level of the World Cup. But now it's like, okay, that's cool. That's really cool. They ripped up the field too. They ripped up the field to put real grass in there.
Wow. Yeah, I wish they'd come to my house. I can use some help with my grass. I'm not gonna lie.
After you're done and you replace the field turf, can you bring some of that grass over to her house, please?
Yeah,
and have that fixed up.
That's so much ask. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on, huh?
Yeah. So Noonan, some of the things I wanted to talk about too is just Noonan had his basically his police interview from July 3rd, 2025. This was a video that I'll bring it up on the screen here. I have not seen this video yet, but
okay. I listened to about half of it, and then honestly, I just got so kind of aggravated with it.
Yeah,
I just had to stop because it's taken place several days after the incident occurred. And as we know from the criminal trial, he's not even on screen. Like, okay, so we see this with the tie. This is what you're going to see the entire time. This is what you see.
Yeah.
Noonan is over here to the right of this guy in next to this empty chair. He's over there. So every once in a while, you'll see Noonan's hand, going.
Yeah.
But you don't actually ever see Noonan. Like, what the heck? I mean, you glean so much from being able to actually see people, I don't understand it, but anyway, that's what's going on. And then it just, his demeanor during the entire interview really it upset me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't I hear in the trial they took off a body cam and set it on the
Yeah.
table?
That's what they did.
I mean, so they didn't even care to point it at him. I mean, this is
Right.
insanity.
yeah,
absolute
it was a body
insanity.
cam on the table, and they just the questioner is there. He's somebody from the Mass State Police, and he's there, and that's who you see the whole time. And then every once in a
Yeah.
while, you see Noonan's hand.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Ridiculous.
What you see. It's like, huh? I mean, like you always point the camera at the person that's being interviewed. Like,
Right.
That's
Right.
This is
silliness. That's
2025
silliness.
when this happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
So, I mean, was it intentional? I don't know. Just it's weird.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
just
there's
wild.
a reason.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Lauren.
sorry. No, I was just going to say that there's a reason that police department, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, all of that does body language. They want to see the people that they're interviewing. And there's
Yeah.
a reason for that. So for them to purposely, I don't know, but to neglect the whole fact of, hey, you have a body cam video and you're not going to actually point it at the person who's being interviewed. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just, to me, things that bother me about the justice system, and considering that this was a shooting incident as well. And when I first played this video, when I was looking through it, when it was released by Trial Files, I was focusing on, like, when they're going to show Noonan. So I was literally fast forwarding it just to see if Noonan was on camera, to say, okay, I want to see how he was reacting. I'm sure he would have been his typical stone-faced self. But this was an incident, again, where it's like, why is this guy not on camera? Why is this not the way it should be? Which is, like you guys said, there needs to be analysis here. If this had been information that was played in court, for example, wouldn't you want that information readily available with him on camera to say, you flinched a little bit when you answered that question, sir. Why is that? It's just.
It could have been a Noonan impersonator. You probably could do a Noonan impersonation, Maza.
Potentially. Put on a white beard. Yeah. Dress up as Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just very, very odd. But I do think, Lauren, you were there with me during the trial, and Tim did actually bring that up because, like you said, he brought something up about that. And I think it was Tim that was like, but you were never, or I don't know whether he was when he was talking to the Mass State Police. Because the Mass State Police interviewer did testify there, didn't he? And he kind of said that to him. He was kind of like, but you put a body cam and you never really recorded Noonan. It just makes no sense. Why you wouldn't have the person who's being interviewed on record? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, all it would have taken was a little tilting. I mean,
Right.
he could have actually gotten both of them in, There were 2 empty seats next to this guy. He could have moved over 1 seat and he would have been in it. You see, there's an empty seat that you can see perfectly, and if he was sitting in that seat, we would have been able to see him, both of them.
Or leave the body cam as it is and scoot your chair back so you can get the person. I mean, it seems like more effort to take it off and put it on the table when you can just do this and aim yourself body cam. I mean, it's
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah. See
There
what I
was
mean?
more-
He was in that seat. You could see him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the
Right.
security footage at Kelsey's house, when Justin trips, when he's running out of the house in horror, you see, like, him perfectly on camera. Wouldn't you want the same thing for Noonan here, where you can perfectly see him on camera? You just never know when someone's going to trip and slip and fall,
Yes, exactly.
But that's what bothers me about the whole thing. It's just another situation, just like Karen Reed, where you have protocols that are not typically either followed or not traditional. Now, I don't know if there's a regulation about whether or not they actually have to have someone like Noonan on camera, but the problem that he's not, that bothers me quite a bit. It truly does. Like, it bothers you guys. It's just, again, and like someone said earlier,
He shot somebody. I mean, I, whether it was justified or wasn't justified, the man shot somebody and almost killed them.
yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that the defense did not have this video until they had to request it during trial.
Right.
Sorry, but that doesn't smell right, which makes me think that maybe this was on purpose, that the camera is facing an empty chair. I don't know, but that's where my brain goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't this have couldn't in a potential civil suit, wouldn't this footage be invaluable to Kelsey and her team in a potential civil suit where they could potentially have footage like this played? That kind of is a little bit troubling as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole interview actually is very troubling if you actually listen to it. And
Yeah.
some of it, like, first of all, he said that, you know, the plan was to go and serve this restraining order. He talks about the car being parked far away and that they already had a plan in place that they were going to box her in. It's like they were turning this service of a civil restraining order into like, you know, like a swatting, I guess is, you know, I mean, it's like turning into this like crazy thing. It's like a civil restraining order that was issued on one person's word. You're supposed to go and serve this restraining order on her. And now you're saying he says in the interview, he told them, well, you know, I don't like the fact that her car is parked over here. He said his words, I believe, I don't want to quote it, but something to the effect of she was parked as far away from her house as she possibly could be. Really?
I remember that. Yeah,
Really?
I remember that.
As far away as possible. Like, I mean, that's a little bit extreme, isn't it? I mean, she was in like the parking lot next door, but whatever.
Right.
And that they're like, oh, and so he had instructed them, you know, he's the big honcho there. If they see her, that they would box her in. You are serving a civil restraining order. Like, it was already so aggressive. Like, why is it so aggressive? And then he goes on to say, that if you know that the plan was to serve this restraining order and then section her.
Yeah.
He actually says that, and like, what? Like, where was it? Like, this on one person's word, going and getting a restraining order. There was no order to section her. That wasn't in the restraining order. But this is what was in his brain. So when you think about what was in his brain and then what happens after, it really does give you pause.
Yeah. That's what bothers me about this whole thing. Why were they so pumped up for this thing that they were, again, it's like they were trying to arrest somebody that was going to be a known violent situation, or a known, like, you know, we got to treat this person like, hey, this is we're after some person of interest in a serious matter here. It's like it's a civil letter, whatever it was there.
It is. It's a civil restraining order.
Civil restraining order. Yeah. RO. Right. Yeah. Right. And you're sitting there, you're filing this, you're going to the door, knock, knock, knock. This is why we're here. But yet there's this level of intensity to it. Why is that? And I put that on such and such, kind of pumping their tires a little bit too, the officers, making Kelsey out to be this threat. And, you know, lo and behold, Kelsey does have a reaction. But again, what person or what mother honestly would not have that kind of reaction at the thought of, you know, because two things, you know, your baby's being taken away, but also there's a level of competitiveness too. There's a level of, and I would say, when I say entitled, I don't mean entitled in a bad way, but I mean entitled that if you're a parent, you feel entitled to your child, or you would feel entitled to an opportunity to fight for your child, not a knock on the door and all of a sudden we're here to take your child and pack some things right now, and Kelsey's in a situation where she feels absolutely helpless. And then given her state of mind at the time, basically being postpartum, having a reaction that is really, you know, over the top compared to how someone not having postpartum would react. And then this thing just goes absolutely out of control. And the way they served it, getting back to that, we've talked about it many times, was just absolutely atrocious. No female officer, no social services, nothing. And Kelsey has the reaction she does. Now, I don't think the way she reacted necessarily is the way she intended to react. I think it's just simply the way she did react. But again, where are the protections to prevent her from reacting in that way, or potentially getting in a self-harming state against herself? And that's where these officers really failed. And quite honestly, they're an embarrassment. And quite honestly, you know, other than Audrey Elliott in the town of North Andover and three gentlemen that showed up there following trial, it's a shock to me. Nobody else in that town really gives a hell about it.
Audrey's a hero. I love
she
Audrey.
is. She absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
you
to
can
speak
sit
on
here
that.
and talk, you know, but she lives in the town. Go ahead, Lauren. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Just to go off your point, let's be clear, they had absolutely no reason to sanction her. They didn't have any justification to do so. That's ridiculous. But if you're going off that narrative that somebody is mentally unstable, that the way that they handled it is against any protocol that you would handle any kind of a situation with someone who is mentally unstable. They went in guns a-blazing and, you know, boxing her in. Had she seen that and then she would clearly feel threatened. That is going to put anyone on high alert. I mean, there's so many things that are wrong here. So if he's going off that narrative, he knows darn well that's not what you're supposed to do in that situation. So that doesn't help him either. And it won't help him in the civil suit.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they, and in the interview, he says, you know, they come to the door and Kelsey's reaction is she's surprised. Like, she's like, what are you guys doing here? You know, like, what are you guys doing here? I mean, she was just there, but remember that she was just at the police station earlier in the day, having no issues, completing a training. And then they told her, we're here to serve this order on you. And according to Noonan, she asked them, but I can keep my baby, right? Like, I mean, I think she was fine if they were going to come and take her guns away, you know what I mean? But it was like, but I can keep my baby. And they're like, no, Justin's on his way to pick up the baby right now. You know, that's
and also
as a mom, I can't even imagine it. Honest to God, I can't. I just can't.
And if you go off just what they were there to serve her, their job was to serve the order, get the guns, and retrieve the baby. You know what is not on that list? Gathering clothes. Now that's lovely that they allowed her to do that, but that should have been on the very end of all these other things done. That wasn't on the list. Okay. So like, if you want to do that after, great. But they let her apparently control the narrative of getting the clothes while they didn't do the things that they should have done to secure themselves and anyone else in that house. And then they're shifting the blame on Kelsey, and it's disgusting. They're the professionals. They know how to do it. Those were the important things on the list, and they didn't do it.
Right. Because he even says that in the interview. He says, we were there to secure the firearms. Okay, well, you didn't do that. He's like, he's like, so professional. I started noticing these things, and I saw like an empty thing, and like, whatever. And it's like, but okay, so you're seeing, right, exactly. You see, and you don't like take the actions that you needed to take under the order. There were two things that you were supposed to do: secure the firearms and then take the child and whatever. I think it was all done improperly anyway. Social services should have been there. It definitely was done improperly there. But then he adds to that and then section her. What, you're the judge now? Like, what are you talking about? Like, who told you? I'd love to know that, answer that question, because we really don't know that. Who told you that she was supposed to be sectioned? Who? Who?
Right.
That wasn't, I have cases all the time where people have restraining orders. Just because you're getting a restraining order doesn't mean you're getting sectioned. It's on one person's word. That's insane that he would automatically leap to, we were sectioning her. That's a huge thing. Being sectioned is a huge thing.
Yes,
it's a legal thing. So for him to be like, that's what we were doing, like in his interview, it tells you something about his mental state at the time that happened.
Yeah.
And also,
I think you will see that come up in the civil case. Just saying.
Yeah.
And whoever told him to section it, well, that's all good and grand, but he's not at the scene, was he? So it's really officers at the scene make that determination, not someone else's word while they're going into the scene. If she had acted unstable and making threats at that point, then they would have had reason to section her. That wasn't happening. He even stated she wasn't crying. She was calm. So at that point, it doesn't matter what anyone said to you about sectioning her. It's your duty. It's your responsibility to see if the requirements are met. They weren't even close to met. He knows better.
Right. But I mean, that's the thing. He's saying in this interview, which is his first interview after the incident happened, after he shot someone and almost killed them, he's saying in the interview that these were that was what they were there to do. So he's not saying we determined that after we got there that we needed to do that.
Right.
In his mind, that's what they were there to do.
Yeah.
And Tim did bring that up in the trial too. you know, and
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
they almost kind of pseudo denied it a little bit and was like, well, whatever. It's like who instructed you that this was it's a legal process. I think somebody even in the chat says I'm in mental health and section 12 is a process. Yes. You don't look, police don't just aren't sectioning you, you know. I mean,
Right.
if things are out of control, like you said, Lauren, once you get there and you're like, the only way we can control this situation is to do the section 12, like whatever. But like he went into it thinking, oh, Justin went and got this order, so Justin must be right. And everything Justin says is true. And the judge issued the 209A based on Justin's word only. So not only are we going to issue a restraining order, we're also going to section. I've never had a client just sectioned on a restraining order ever. It's like it's an extra thing, you know, and he wasn't there to do that. But it does say a lot about his mental state, which his mental state is very important here.
Mm-hmm. And he's on a power trip, in my opinion, as well.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he can do whatever he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So I didn't even get to finish it because I was just like, this guy, like I can't, you know, I mean, plus like they didn't even interview Kelsey at all. She didn't get to have any say in any.
That's insanity to me. You think that they would?
They didn't even ask to. They didn't even ask to
interview all parties, and that's, you know, like Kelsey said, you know, looking forward to the truth coming out when she was released there back in September of last year. And it's just amazing to me they wouldn't interview her and get her side of this. What's your take? You know, you want to get all parties. You want to get all sides of this thing because you want to check for, if you're doing a thorough examination, you want to get all angles of this thing. So if there's some differences here, you can maybe go back and re-interview some of those folks and say, hey, you said this, but she said that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You know, that's
they didn't want that story. They didn't want to hear that one.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They had a narrative. They already had the ending that they wanted. And I mean, quite frankly, they, you know, Kelsey survived and they probably didn't think she was going to, you know.
Yeah.
They were all a little sour when that trial ended, huh? They all walked out the door there in North Andover. They were all pretty upset walking out the door. They had to storm right out of there, and we're all upset. And Lauren Cummings, investigator, was there, and she's like,
well, you remember Mazza? I mean, in the words of Noonan, let's get this G to his friends the morning of. Like, this isn't a game, okay? This is not you despicable human being.
Yeah.
I'm out there first thing in the morning, so because I had to beat traffic, I'm pretty far away, and you know,
you were there early. I was like, Mazza, is there any crowd yet? You're like, no, not yet. It's like 6 a.m., Mazza.
All of a sudden, this whole group of guys walk around the corner. They're all in suits, and I'm like, maybe they're here for this, or maybe they're here for something else. I don't know. They don't know who I am at all, which is good.
They know who you are.
Yeah,
I think they did.
Hey.
I think they did.
They're all like, hey, what's going on? So the guy that sits next to Noonan, me and him, I interact with him the most. Me and him were totally cool. And again, I didn't really realize who they were. And then about 40 minutes later, 30 minutes later, other people showed up. And then old Noonan shows up, and they act like it's old Noonan. We're all here for Noon, man. Let's just pat him on the shoulder. And all of a sudden, I see all these guys I've been hanging out with all morning. And all of a sudden, they're all hugging him, and they're all like this with them. And they get the combination exchanges going. And I'm like, oh, okay. So these are the North Andover cops. And of course, they're all outside. And I'm like, these guys are definitely cops. These got to be the North Andover police office, department. They were. And then as time went on, I think they got to know who I was too a little bit throughout the day if they didn't know.
They knew you.
Like,
and if they don't know that seat placement with you next to Noonan, I mean, like, that could not have been any better.
Oh, it was crazy.
It was
I didn't
beautiful.
even plan on getting that seat. It just kind of factored in that way. And I'm just like, kind of like,
I know. The look on your face was priceless.
when things are such nonsense to me, like when I feel like, in a situation, it's so obvious who the person that's on the side of good is. And all the people try to make, it's a big debate about whether it's Karen Reed, or is she innocent or not? Is Turtle Boy innocent or not? Is Kelsey innocent or not? And I know exactly what the truth is. And all these other people, it's like in sports. When I tell somebody, the New York Knicks are going to win the finals. And people are like, no. And then I sit there and they win. I'm just kind of like, I told you. Yeah. I mean, I told you. I was kind of like that. I kind of smirk like, we sat here throughout all this whole thing. I came here for one day, so I told you she's innocent. She didn't do it, you know, and or the story is just like she said it, and her testimony was perfect. Her
Oh my God.
her getting up
so
on the
good.
stand
So
was
good.
so
good.
well done, and credit to her defense team for prepping her, but also for Kelsey for following their preparation, but also just delivering the God's honest truth. But I liked her introspectiveness on the whole thing, where she actually like talked about what she did wrong or what she could have done better.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear anything like that from Noonan. And that was
No,
the big
nothing.
difference to me. It was just like, she was trying to take my life. I had to shoot her. What? Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Mazza,
Weaver stamps.
that's kind of a good segue to where we're at this point. You know what I mean? Because based on what happened at the last hearing, which I am very familiar with right now, it's very clear to me that the avenue that Justin's going down is that Kelsey is mentally unstable. That's the whole thing. He's like, she's mentally unstable. And his attorney is saying that. And that, we are not ready to release the supervisor until we can have some information from an independent GAL, an independent mental health investigator, that is going to tell us that she's mentally okay, And that's a lot of the reason why the judge, and then so the judge was like, so are you saying that, like, she has these, because the judge actually came right out and asked, you are the ones asking for supervision to continue, and you need to kind of explain to me why. Like that, like the norm is not to have supervision, and you have supervision, so why? And they fell back on, well, we need the GAL appointed because we're concerned about mental health issues, and we're concerned that, in 4 hours of visits and this and that, and she could, and according to the attorney, from what Justin has told him, Kelsey can turn on a dime. She can turn on a dime. She can just like be totally fine. And then she turns on a dime. And I'm just saying, we all, well, I'm not you, Monza, you were there last day, but Lauren and I, and KY Mav, hey, shout out to KY. Please go and do whatever you
Please
can
help
for
him.
KY. Oh my gosh, I'm so worried about him. But anyway, we were all there every single day. Kelsey was cool as a cucumber the entire days. They were long days. They were very long days, and she sat there. She listened to all this BS. I never saw her getting worked up. She would just lean over to Tim, say something to him, very calm, very helpful to her team. So apparently she just turns on a dime. I mean, we were there almost a week. She didn't turn on a dime. I didn't see her turning on a dime. Did you see her, Lauren, turn on a dime? I thought
Never. And also, we have her text messages, right? Yeah. So we have the text messages. If she was going to turn on a dime, let me tell you, she would have turned on a dime when Justin didn't show up at the park with her to meet her and her 4-month-old. I'm sorry, but I think she deserves credit for how she handled those text messages. Mine wouldn't have been so nice. So again, be careful what you wish for, Justin, because you're not going to, he's
the thing is like pot, meat, kettle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that he acts so like he's so above it all. Oh, he's the one in control. Really? Mother's Day 2025, anyone? Seriously? And so then it's like, oh, well, she has these substance abuse issues. And like, Julie Hess like really came right back at that and was like, well, only one party here has actually been removed from their job for substance issues, and it's not Kelsey Fitzsimmons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, rah, so that was, and it's like for real, because, again, pot, meat, kettle, like stop it, stop it, just stop it. But, the court's going to do what the court's going to do. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have the GAL involved. The GAL, but the thing that Justin probably didn't consider is the GAL is going to investigate both of them. He's not going to just say, we're just going to look over here. Let's not look at this side. We're just going to look at that side. No, the GAL is going to look at both parties and their mental health, and substance abuse issues and all of those kind of things. So, and they also are the GAL is going to be paid by Justin. So, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. I love that for him.
Exactly. So the status right now is, so they're trying to get another, the parties have stipulated to it. I don't think it's really, I just, from hearing the recording, the parties have stipulated to it, but they're trying to get a new supervisor. The supervisor that they have had that had done 4 visits. She did the Mother's Day weekend and then the other weekend. She's not very close by. She's very expensive. And it's not practical to continue with her. And she unfortunately couldn't do the last visit. So the way the order was written, it just required a professional supervisor. It didn't actually say it had to be that supervisor. So the parties have come to an agreement relative to a new supervisor that is going to now, do the weekend visits. However, Kelsey's mom, maternal grandmother, is supervising now the Wednesday night visits, which started this past week. So we've added that in. And, I think a lot of it is just time. We just need a little more time because the court doesn't even necessarily know all the things we know, and they're waiting to get reports from the supervisors to make sure everything's going okay. There's only really been 2 reports. At the last hearing, there were only 2 reports that have been submitted. They probably were still waiting on the other 2 reports, but there really have only been 4 supervised visits. So gradually, as that goes on, the supervision will end up being released, and then then we'll start to see unsupervised, and then we'll start to see gradual increases in the time. Like you'll start to see overnights and things like that, until we finally get to a very full, comprehensive parenting plan. And while the GAL is doing the investigation, the court did make it clear in the order that we do not need to wait for the GAL report to be done in full to start doing more visits and unsupervised visits. So that was really good.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
That changes things. They're probably more cost effective now and everything too. So cut down on the expenses, which is important because that last person that they had sounded like they were pretty costly. I think you might have said that on the show before. I'm not sure, but that is a big issue, is the price, the cost, and the expense and all that.
Right.
And it's just way out of hand. Yeah.
Maza, she couldn't have done it without us. Without you and these fundraisers, without these people in the chat that have donated and have given so much. She really couldn't have done it because this case has been unbelievable, and she's already gone through the whole criminal trial. So we already had all of that, and according to what Julie Hess had said at this hearing, that supervisor for those 2 weekends was $6,000, right? So so it's that's not sustainable. That's not
no,
right? And
no.
So it's nice for everybody to say, well, she should be getting every weekend, or she should be okay. And she wants all of that, but she can't, whatever, you can't eventually, you don't want her living in a cardboard box either.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that affects the stability of everything too. So, so this supervisor will be a little bit more reasonable, but I mean, really thank you to everyone that's continued to donate, because it is an ongoing thing. Yes, the criminal trial's over. I'm amazed that people are still there and they're donating, and so appreciate it, because I know it's not easy when there's so many other things that are going on that we see on all these cases. And the fact that even at that last fundraiser, I mean, I would have been happy if we ended up with $1,000 at that fundraiser. Honestly, I even had told you that, Miles. I was like, I'm so overwhelmed by the number of people that are still out there and still care and are still supporting Kelsey. And I can tell you, Kelsey is overwhelmed by it too, and her parents are overwhelmed by it. And so thank you to everybody for still continuing to be out there and being a voice for Kelsey.
It's a beautiful community, and it's awesome.
They just want to see this little boy back with his mom. And the visits themselves, I mean, even as reported to the court, they're going fantastic. There's no issue with the visits, and Caidyn's doing great. Everybody's doing great. So it's just a matter of, it is a time thing. The court needs to make sure everything is all set, but eventually we're going to get there.
Yeah, that's great. I just, like I said, the expenses concerns me. So I'm happy that these fundraisers have been beneficial, but at the same time too, in terms of her expenses for defense, for potentially upcoming civil suits, for
Yep.
medical purposes. I mean, just to have more expenses like that when it comes just to simply seeing your child, which you should have the right to see. I mean, that's
Right.
just a matter that seems to be too favorable towards the other party, in my opinion. It seems like Kelsey, who's been acquitted, still has this burden on her to have to always prove that she has the right to see her child, and having to pay what's basically like a New York rental price in New York City on a per visit basis is just
Crazy.
absolutely insanity to me. It truly is. But this woman has shown nothing but good behavior
Right.
since she's basically been in the spotlight here.
Yes.
We haven't seen heard anything about behavior other than this alleged incident that took place up in, was it where was it again? Newburyport?
Newburyport, and with
Yeah.
0.0 receipts of any.
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
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 I mean, it's like, I mean, and if the
It's-
receipts were out there, I feel like we would have seen them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another trust me, bro situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
Yeah,
all the
trust me,
claims.
bro. Trust me.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not too impressed with any of that. And quite frankly, the
Yeah.
judge wasn't impressed with any of that either.
Yeah.
And the judge even said, like, look, I don't want to put a lot of things in this order because, you know, these are public records, like especially the court orders, you know, and they're not impounded. And someday your child might see this, you know, and we have to be mindful of that because this is family court and we don't need that. You know, we don't really need that. We don't need all this public attention like that about this child's parents, because hopefully you hope that eventually they'll just both move on to new situations, new relationships, and just be able to co-parent the child. That's what needs to happen here, you know.
Yeah. You know, resolution, and that's what's so crazy about what ended up happening at that house, and his continued matters or accusations or allegations that he's making against her is it's just continuing this down the path of conflict instead of resolution, and that's a big problem because I think if I'm not going to give him advice, I'm not going to tell him what to do. But if I were someone that, say, like was this hired PR person, like, you know how the McAlberts have a hired PR team that's probably told them
Who's doing a horrible job.
Yeah,
Right. Really
make it
good
seem
job,
like, you know,
guys.
yeah. I'd probably say, hey, look, publicly right now you're getting taken a hit. You're this is bad. This is looking really bad for you. But the thing is, I think instead of going in the direction of like, okay, let me just kind of save face here, it feels like it's going in the opposite direction, which is, oh yeah, there was a story, you know, that's now being talked about at a Newburyport, and there was a random call or whatever that was made. It's like that's the opposite direction that you want to go on in this situation. You already look horrible in the eyes of the public. You know, you probably don't want your name talked about. You probably don't want to listen to people helping out Kelsey any more than it is. But when you do stuff like that, people like me say, okay, they want to say this about Kelsey. We're going to do another fundraiser.
Right.
You know, that's what ends up
Get that
happening.
money. Let's get that
You
money.
know?
Yeah.
We do a fundraiser the next week, and we raise more money for her. It's like, you know, I would say for him, if I were in his shoes and I had to say, okay, I'm now driving this vehicle that's called his life, and I need to drive him in the situation that can best bring him to some kind of level of redemption, I would say just ease off all the bullshit, back off entirely. I can't imagine, like I said, no person on this planet's a perfect person. Kelsey, Karen, myself, nobody is a perfect person. I get it. I get that Kelsey probably had times and days where it's like she's in a bad mood today, or I completely understand people have bad days. I totally get it.
And especially when you're in a bad relationship, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so the way you act with that person that you're in that bad relationship
Right.
with is not necessarily reflective of your overall personality. I
Right.
mean, we've all been in
Exactly.
those kind of
Right.
situations where it's like, okay, I mean, I wouldn't normally act like that, but like
Right.
to make it for him, he always makes it seem like, oh, it's not him. I'm, you know, whatever. And then until we heard that audio, it's like, yeah, okay, like whatever.
And again,
You know?
that's a red flag. When someone can never admit bad behavior or that anything is their fault, that's a problem. And that is exactly who Justin is.
Yeah.
That's horrible to say too, because it's horrible for him, I should say, because it's just, again, if I always say this too. I say it about the McAlberts all the time. I always try to like say to myself, what if they were right about everything they said, just for the purposes of theory?
Yeah.
Why would they do this, this, and that if they're the good people that they're saying that they are? And that's where I get with him a lot is if this guy is this great or good person, and Kelsey's just for the purposes of being an objective thinker, which I am, let's just say he was right and she was totally wrong. Then why this, and that? And that's what I look at a lot is like, why is this? Why are you telling the police all this crap all the time? Why is it this story coming up, but yet the story, nobody recorded it? You mean to tell me this woman was high profile? Nobody happened to record it, put it on the internet weeks before. None of that happens at all. That's what gets me back to the point where it's like, see, I've looked at things from both sides. I've been an objective thinker. And every time I look at this new information, I say to myself, Kelsey wins another round. Because I don't feel like, what goes good for Kelsey too, is Kelsey in all of this has literally talked to her own supporters online and said, I don't want you guys disparaging him. I don't want you guys saying negative things. Now, when I look at somebody saying that, I say to myself, gee, that's a really good comment to be made by a person that I think is right. And I don't see him
that's
doing
a comment of a person that wants to co-parent with their child. That's what that is. It's like we can look, and I say that a lot of times in my practice, and I do a lot of mediation work, and it's like the fact I always tell the clients when they come in for mediation, the fact that you can come here and you can sit here together and let me do this with you says a lot about your ability to be able to co-parent, because that you're putting your child first and that's what you want. It's unfortunate though, we haven't seen any of that from Justin's side. We haven't seen any like it's all coming from Kelsey that she's like wants to co-parent and she wants to do the communication and she wants to do the family. They didn't end up stipulating to those things, but it's like every time something goes even mildly wrong, Justin's like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Go through the lawyers. It's like, stop it. Like you know, it's so childish. You've got to just all this stuff. They need to move beyond it because they've got a long time together with this child. And the faster they just kind of get onto the job of parenting, the better off everybody will be.
10 years from now, I was thinking about this when I was in court, during the trial. I'm thinking 10 years out from now, right now, Justin has the voice. Kelsey has the voice as it pertains to all this right now is it's Kelsey's voice and Justin's voice. That's all it is. 10 years from now, the baby's going to have a voice.
He is.
And then when he's over 18 years old, he's really going to have a voice. And he's going to probably make a serious decision at some point. And that's either one parent or the other, or maybe both of them, or maybe neither. I don't know.
Yeah. And what do you think would be best for him, Maza? Both parents, right? I mean, like the ideal situation for him would be both parents, because the two people that care about him the most and that have his best interest at heart, whether they're together as a couple or not, are his mom and his dad. So that's what makes the most sense for him, for the child. So I really hope that they can get there. I really do, because it's never good for a child to have a parent that's isolated from them. It's just not good. And sometimes it has to happen. Sometimes we need that because a parent is just a bad person or whatever. They've been abusive. They have, abused substances to the point where they can't parent and things like that. But I'm hoping that, we can see that co-parenting because, whatever you think about Justin, he is the child's dad and the child needs his mom and his dad.
Right.
And best believe that not only speaking for baby C, but for just children in general, best believe that children, when they get older, a little older, it doesn't take long. No. They know when a parent is playing the other parent and using them as a pawn and disparaging the other parent. It is not in a child's best interest ever to do that because it is only hurting the child. And that child is then going to resent the parent that is doing that. Always. Right. That's how it works. I've seen it time and time again. So.
Right. And these are adult matters. They're adult matters. They're not, the children shouldn't have to deal with them. That's
right.
That is just like, they should just have their childhood and they should have two people that are caring for them and taking care of them and worrying about what their needs are. And it's not up to the child shouldn't have to hear any of it. I mean, you
Yeah.
can have your opinion about the other person, but you can just also keep it to yourself, or tell your significant other, or but you don't need to involve the child in that at all, because it's just not
Right.
healthy. It's not healthy for the child.
Exactly.
And I also
If
feel
you
that
cared
the
about
behavior,
child, you wouldn't do it. That's the bottom.
yeah, and I also feel like the behavior and the actions of each parent individually will eventually be subject to evaluation by that child in the future. This child will eventually one day look back and say, you know, what happened earlier in my life? Why? Every kid that ever grows up always reflects upon where they came from, what their upbringing was like. And if they go back in time and they say, geez, you know, because he's going to hear two different stories, right?
Yep.
Eventually, you know, he's going to look at certain things and say, so Mom, you went through all of this, and in the end, you told people not to disparage my father.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's huge.
Right.
I've
And
said
you
it
went through
before,
all
but-
this, and you just kept
Yeah.
fighting for me, you know, which is really the truth of it.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, like, this baby is going to see her scar that she has from the bullet wounds.
Yeah.
And he's going to ask about that. And he's going to get an answer that's age appropriate. But when he gets older, he's also going to want to maybe see what exactly happened. And all of that stuff is online. And he's going to see who that ties back to. And unfortunately, the way that things proceeded, it ties back to Justin. Not a good look. So again, like you said, Maza, it's time to maybe have a different PR firm give you better advice, because the advice that he's getting right now and the actions he's taken is not helping his child at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's just like I said. It's an awful situation. It truly is. But you know, I'm the kind of person that, you know, I want to see every single person out there be their best selves, and that's regardless of who they are. You know, it's like I always want to see people have their redemptive arc, where it's like, you know, I want to know that he, despite what happened, doesn't feel good about how a shooting took place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see a level of redemption, some human behavior out of somebody, where you're like, Jesus, I mean, but I just feel like there's still that piling on Kelsey right now, and I don't like that. That Newburyport bar incident, a restaurant incident, whatever it was, it's like, here we go again. This is just like the main story now, where it's back to that same,
Right.
you know, going back to that same well over and over, where Kelsey is this drunken lunatic that was all over this bar, absolutely out of control. And I'm sitting there listening. Why I mean, I'll be honest with you. If that were true, I'd have some serious questions.
Yeah.
I'd be, number one, if Kelsey legitimately acted that way on her own doing, why? Or number two, was, like some people theorized about, was she somehow drugged? So I'd have a lot of questions. But my
Right.
biggest
There's
question
one drink. She had and
It's a
even
big
the
problem for them.
Even the attorney, when Justin's attorney, when she was arguing, he said she had one or two drinks, and you know, then she became like, you know, crazy or whatever. And it was like what? Like I'm just saying, supposedly she's some raving alcoholic, and she gets crazy drunk on one or two drinks. I mean, it's like, to me, that sounds like somebody that doesn't drink. That to me sounds like somebody that doesn't drink and has a drink. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my mother used to be like, my mother was like such a teetotaler, and she was so cute about it. Like, if you poured her like a little half a glass of rosé, she'd be like, woohoo, I'm having the best time ever, you know? So cute, you know, but because she never drank, so she'd take 2 sips of wine and be like drunk, you know, and so like, just like, wow, I can't have that, you know. But like, apparently, you know, Kelsey's a raving alcoholic, but she has one drink and she's like acting crazy. But the other thing is, you know, Kelsey, when she heard of this allegation, because she heard it when we all heard it, like when we saw a crazy
Alien attack
person, you know, coming out with all this whatever whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so she called the police, because they state, oh, the police were involved. The police were called. She was kicked out of the bar. She actually called the police. She's like, do you have a report of this? No, we don't have any report of the incident. We don't have any report. We don't have anything. Am I banned from that? No, you're not banned from anything like that. Like, whatever. She's like, because I'd like to pick, if there is a report, I'd like to pick it up so that I can bring it to court with me. She told them that. And, you know, and they're like, there is no report. We don't have anything. So So, just stop it.
Yeah. And it's just, I have to imagine that, regardless of how much Kelsey has or has not drinking within the past, let's say, year or two,
Yeah.
that she'd suddenly just put herself in a situation where she'd just go in and start. It seemed to me from the opposing party's perspective, a story that was too good to be true. Additionally, how did that story get back to them anyways? That's another question I asked. How did that happen? How did
Yes, that's a very good question, Maza.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on here? How are these things getting reported? We did determine that the bar owner is former Newburyport police dispatcher, so has ties to police, and actually worked at another department before that. That department happens to be kind of like right next door to North Andover, and
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? So, like, what's happening? And I mean, I don't know what's really happening, but the other part of it is too, we're having this hearing that was like the end of May. This thing supposedly happened the beginning of May. We don't hear about it until we're coming to this hearing.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, let's just throw some more mud into it. Let's just do some more mudslinging. And like you said, you have Kelsey saying, stop saying bad things about my child's father. And then you have Justin with this bar incident. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
A and B,
like, I don't know.
Yeah. And you know what? Unfortunately, because this case is in the public eye, people knew she was moving to Newburyport. So you think those officers didn't know that she was moving there? You think that maybe they didn't make a couple phone calls to some people that knew the location and they knew? I mean, come on. It doesn't take rocket science to put some pieces together. And again, you have Justin spewing off and stuff. We see right through you. Just stop it. Like, just stop.
And Justin's family is very connected. You know what I mean? And the fact is, like, Kelsey's become a familiar face in that area because she's living in that area and people see her. I mean, Kelsey's an absolutely gorgeous woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
And her face has been plastered all over like local media for a year. So people know what she looks like. And they've also seen pictures of her and her dog. And so Kelsey's out walking her dog every night. Like, and so she had her dog with her. She's walking with her dog. And apparently there was even a picture that was taken at the bar at the end by these girls that told her to come in. And, even Julie Hess is like, you can see my clients in this picture and she's fine. Like, there's nothing, like, it's at the end of the supposed incident. And she's taking a picture with these girls with a dog. So I hate to say it, but I feel like it was a setup. I feel like it was some kind of a setup. I don't really have evidence of that, but it just seems kind of like, I think she kind of walks by there almost every night.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's pretty bad because I also feel like Kelsey, through all that she's been through, is like a super trusting human being. Yeah. And she is, you've met her. I mean, she's and Lauren, like, she's nice to everybody. Anybody that went up to her, she had a big smile and thank you and like whatever. It's just, that's her personality. And I can see that people would be like, oh, you Kelsey Fitzsimmons, yeah, whatever. Oh, come on in, and like whatever. I don't know. Yeah. And then it turns into this, and unfortunately, her trusting nature is something that's very endearing about her. But then on the other hand, she's got to be careful because, we're dealing with people that aren't too good.
Yeah, not playing fair game here. Like I said, I remember, I think back of a story with Kelsey the first time I ever met her. So after she was acquitted, I was standing in the hallway outside the courtroom, and I was off out of the way. I decided to move out of the way. The family, the lawyers, some of the people who were close friends, I believe, were over there congregating, hugging, celebrating, letting the emotions out. I said, I'm just off to the side. I want to stay back. I don't want to be intrusive or anything. I don't want to be over there trying to, we get too close too soon. I'll wait for a moment.
You're observing. You were observing.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I don't know where I was looking. I wasn't looking over there. I was like, hey, man, as I look up, it's Kelsey. I'm like, Kelsey's coming over to see me like right now. Is this serious? I go, you shouldn't have your family with them. And she gave me a big hug and thanked me. And that was the picture.
It was so great.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It gives me goosebumps
was,
even now when you tell the story.
Yeah.
It's just like, so like,
yeah,
because she's been so grateful, and she has been, you know, watching our fundraisers and reaching out and being so thankful for all of it. And, you know, she could finally breathe, you know, I mean, can you imagine just like all this whole time and just waiting for that moment to happen? And even though, you know, she always said it was going to happen, and Tim always said it was going to happen, until you actually hear those two words, not guilty, you know, you just still always have that doubt in your mind. And I like the amount of relief that probably rushed over her. And, but certainly genuine appreciation for what you've done, Maza, seriously. And I have it too, heartfelt for sure. And also just my appreciation for having you guys in my life now. It's a great relationship. I love both of you so much.
Thank you. Likewise, Laura, we love you. Yeah, we love you. For sure. That was a great week. It was great. I met both of you in person for the first time the same exact day. It was unbelievable. It was, I remember Lori, I sat next to Lauren during the verdict, and me and Lauren, I'm not trying to brag, but me and Lauren, we had so much swagger on our side of the room. Like we were just sitting there gloating before the verdict. I'm looking at Lauren. Lauren's not nervous at all. She's looking at me. I'm not nervous at all. We know exactly what's going to come down.
Yeah.
And when the news came down, we're like, yeah, that's great. And we kind of both smirked at Noonan's area a little bit. It was just kind of like, yeah.
Oh,
They're happy
we almost got kicked out, right? I mean, like we were almost like not making it in. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy.
I remember.
I know you were like all sorts of like worked up about that. Like, I mean, because it was like ridiculous. We were standing in there at the door, and then they're like, "Oh, family and witnesses," and then the police, and I'm like, well, "The police aren't like family or witnesses. Like what?
Yeah.
Like they're like what? So the whole police department can come in and like we can come in, you know what I mean?" And it was like, this is ridiculous. We were standing there that whole time. That was completely not right, you know.
Everybody started in too. A couple people started in like, "You seriously going to let all the cops?" And like, "Oh yeah, we're going to let them all in." Like that wasn't going to be controversial at all. And they were coming in, and you know, all of us were showing up essentially as individuals. They were showing up as a collective group, you know, as a large party. And it was like, it's like a restaurant. If there's a large group, they're occupying half the seats immediately.
Exactly. And they're big.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're kind of big. They're taking up a lot of room. And it was just like, I couldn't even believe it was happening. But then I loved like that. If you remember Kelsey's dad, Stephen was standing in the doorway. And so like, he wasn't having any of it because and he was like, he's like, you know, waving me on, and he's like lawyer, he's like family, like anybody that was like there that was for Kelsey, he's like family, lawyer, family. He was calling us all family because he's like that, you know, like it was perfect. It was like, that's right, you know, like what are they going to ask for, like, you know, genetic testing? Like seriously, because they're like, oh, family and witnesses. So he was just like family, lawyer, like whatever. It was just...
The bailiff was like, okay, I don't know who the hell anybody is, so I need people to tell me who you guys are right now.
Right. And they were just like, you know,
they
like,
did.
To me, whoever was at the front of the line, that's who gets in. Like, because we're at the front of the line. You know, it's like seriously.
And I think everybody got in anyways, except for I think one or two women weren't able to get in there. To answer this question, that's accurate, Mr. Betterow. Mr. Betterow was schmoozing with the family and attorneys in a private room in between the morning and afternoon. So he was having a, you know, as Aiden always says, Betterow schmoozes. Betterow was schmoozing. So he was in there shooting the breeze with them.
Yes.
And then Betterow
they
came
saved a seat for him.
Yeah, they saved a seat. They got
they actually brought out a seat for him because he remember he had that big boot on his leg too.
Right.
And it was funny because I saw people online being like, oh, well, Betterow was in there. It's like, you know what? Mark Betterow was there first thing in the morning. He was there right away too. And he had been standing out there with all of us. So if the family, if Tim and actually Courtney, I think came out and got him, because I was talking to him at the time, and Courtney came out and was like, Mark, come on in here. Right. And when we were on verdict watch, And if Courtney didn't come out and get him, he would have been right there where I was standing anyway. Like he was there waiting, and he totally would have gotten in. So it wasn't like he got special treatment. He just ended up being in the room with Kelsey and Tim and Courtney and the legal team. So it wasn't like, he just showed up and they gave him a special seat, but anyway,
Right.
It's just,
but they should have because he is
special seats,
he would have been with the front door with us with that best.
Exactly.
He wasn't going to be back there anyway. So
right. Yes.
yeah,
exactly. That's my point. It was like, these trolls online that are like, just so like ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was quite the day. Quite the day.
It was a joyous day for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I barely slept the night before because I was just so amped up the day before. I couldn't fall asleep. I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like, you're only going to get about 2 hours sleep and you got to get up at 5. I'm like, I couldn't fall asleep. I got 2 hours of sleep. That was it. By midday, my head kicked right in with a headache. And I'm like, oh no, I fought the rest of the day off the headache. It was one of those headaches that no Advil, no nothing can cure except sleep. And I fought through the whole day just like that. And then fortunately I had that day off. I had the next day off.
Oh, cool.
I took 2 days off in a row just in case I went the extra day. And I was
we weren't sure. We thought it might go on to the Friday. Yeah, for sure. You know, but yeah, that was great. Anyway, I'm so glad the way it all worked out. And I know everyone is very invested in Kelsey getting the next step done. But I will tell you, as a family court practitioner, things are happening in the usual course of the way that they happen in family court. If anything, I would say it's moving along faster than it generally does, because I think the scrutiny is, understood and people are seeing it. But you have to understand, if the court orders something, we have to have that order in place for a little bit and make sure that's going okay before they're going to order something else. They're not just going to keep randomly just adding things in and adding time. So we actually have an administrative review date, which is 1 week from today. It's not an in-person hearing. It's a Zoom meeting. And it's more of like an informal meeting. I don't really think anybody else will be allowed into the meeting. It's 8 a.m., which that says something to me. It's like 8. They're doing it before like the court session starts. And it's probably more for the court to check to see, has the GAL been engaged? Has he been, has he reached out? How are we doing with that part of the process? Because the next court date has now been moved all the way to October. It doesn't mean either one of the parties can't come in before October on a motion for temporary orders, but they would have to show some change in circumstance. The change in circumstance can be time. Remember when Judge Karp at the criminal trial said, we can look at time as a change in circumstance to when he wanted to change the bail conditions. We can look at time and we can see that. But at this last hearing, it just hadn't been enough time. So I feel like we might see something end of summer, end of like July, where the court might look to kind of modify again, if an attorney goes in to ask, modify the supervision provisions and to, either release some of them, even if it's on one of the days. It's all just like a gradual process. But, rest assured, everybody, it is going in the right direction, even if you think it's not. It really is. There's been nothing negative that's been happening to Kelsey at this point. It's all going in the right direction. She's having her visits. They're going well. We've now increased to this Wednesday night. So now she's getting every single week. She's having FaceTime communications with her child too. So there's all these little nuggets that are being added in. And it's a process, but we're getting there, and it's all going in the right direction. And again, all thanks to this community that has put her in the spot, because it's really expensive. You think about how many people can't afford to do this. Like think about it. Think about it. And they're getting like court appointed visitation supervisors that like might take 3 months to get back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's the truth of it. Like, because there's not a lot of them and they're really busy, and it's like, okay, I got this order from the court, and now this person hasn't had their parenting time and all this time because they're waiting for the court appointed, supervisor that's going to be paid by the state, because we can do those kind of things. We can have the state paid appointments, but they can do it when they can get to it. You know what I mean? And so for Kelsey to be able to have the ability to be able to pay for like the supervisor and have somebody that's, able to do it, was able to do Mother's Day. She was able to get Mother's Day. The supervisor gave up her own Mother's Day to do Mother's Day for Kelsey. And it was, so huge for her to be able to have Mother's Day with her child. That's the one milestone, everybody, that Kelsey has never missed with her child. She had her first Mother's Day with them, and then she had her second Mother's Day with him.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back, no missing, no absences throughout all that chaos, year to year, bell to bell.
Right.
That's an incredible outcome, realistically. And it's too bad all the time she lost with this child over this nonsense and the full scheme of things. Time she continues to lose with the child, quite honestly, it just feels like this is a mother that really was giving her all to her child. Willing to be excited to be a mother for the first time in her life, and having these, moments where some parents, they don't get to see their kids when they go away to summer camp for a week or two when they're older, but this is different when you're talking about a young infant child, where the development is, before you know it, they're walking or making new vocal sounds. It's a very tragic story all in all, but I'm happy that things have picked up for Kelsey in a positive way as time has gone on, that even though things that have been lost are not necessarily lost for good, there's this ability to salvage things. There's an ability to move forward from there, which is great news. And it just seems to me like ever since she got released the second time from jail, that things have really just progressively gone up over time for her. And I feel like it's going to continue to do so as well.
Yeah, when you think about, like, we're here right now, it's June 15th, okay? It has not been a year. It has not been a full year since all of this happened. That's an anniversary I'm sure she's not going to want to celebrate, June 30th, 2025, okay? But when you think about everything that's happened within that year, it's mind-blowing that on one hand, imagine all the trauma that you've endured in that amount of time. Like that would make it like that's why, like, for Justin's attorneys and even Justin to be so flip about it, that would make any person without any mental health issues to have mental health issues. Those are the mental health inducing issues that causes those things. So when you think about her strength to have come through all of that and to be that person that we saw sitting at the trial, and it's unbelievable. So to sit there and be like, oh, well, she's got these issues or whatever, like anybody that's gone through that trauma, shot, child taken away, relationship ending, like literally, getting ready to go to the altar and your relationship ends, your child's taken away, you're shot, like you almost die, you go to jail. All of those things have happened since last June 30th of 2025. We're not even up on a year yet, having a whole criminal trial. Like, it's incredible when you really think about it, how much has happened. I feel like honestly, I feel like I've known you guys for 5 years.
I know. Seriously. Yeah.
Right? Think about it. It's like, think about it. It hasn't really been that long, but I feel like we've lived a lifetime together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. It's like it's that wild story.
Yeah. For her to be soaring the way that she is and it not haven't been a year, I mean, with the trauma that she's endured is something that everyone can look up to and strive to be. Like, it really just says a lot about the person that she is and her stability. So that, it cannot be overlooked. She's doing this well in this short of a time. Imagine where she'll be a year from now. She will be at the top and just keep going.
Yeah. I'm just happy too that Kelsey's trial, because it was a bench trial, didn't have the risk of going to jury and a second trial. I think that maybe even Bradle, I don't know if Bradle had that in mind as well, that, hey, look, if this is a jury trial, there's a good chance this is going to be a hung. Because I thought there was enough for that jury to get hung up on, quite honestly. And that's not to in any way, shape, or form concede that Kelsey in any way had any wrongdoing, but I felt like the problem was I felt there was a lot of gray area where I don't think a jury could navigate through it effectively enough without at least one or two people hanging them up on minute issues that they just couldn't
Right.
see past. And I
Yes.
felt that there was a high probability of a hung jury because
Me
of that.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
not really a guilty, but a hung jury.
Right.
Right.
You know, I definitely felt that.
Mhm.
And because of like people's not understanding the concept of reasonable doubt as
Right.
well as they should,
Right.
you know. And it's like reasonable doubt. Well, reasonable doubt, like, could she have, you know, been pointing the gun at Noonan? Okay, so if you have a couple of people saying reasonable doubt, they almost like the reverse of the reasonable doubt. I have reasonable doubt that she could have been pointing the gun at Noonan. Yes, that means like if you have any reasonable doubt, it's not guilty, but people get hung up on that. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, I think she could have been pointing at Noonan. Yes, but could have. Do you know for sure that she was, you know? Well, no, but I have reasonable doubt. Okay. Whatever. I've seen it happen. So I know exactly what you're getting at. And it's like, yeah, that was a concern. And let me tell you, a lot of it hinged on who the judge was going to be. I mean, that was a big piece of it. And if we had, you know, Judge Kathleen McCarthy Naiman, that was going to be trying this case, or even if we had Judge Drechsler, because he was not really, he was very pro, not even pro pro cops. He was pro Kathleen McCarthy Naiman. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. It felt like I'm gonna support her and what her rulings have been on this. If we had either of those two people, I truly feel we would have had a jury trial. And if we had a jury trial, that would have been a complete, you know what, show, you know, 100%.
And you know, I personally feel she would have been acquitted, but you never know with the jury. You just don't. And so to take that chance, then that pushes everything back with her custody issues and would put us so far back with moving ahead like we are now. It was just a risk that
she didn't want that. Like that was her whole thing. Like she just didn't want, she didn't want to have the guilt, like, you know, and then when you hear that the prosecution had already told Martha Coakley that they were not going to be even seeking jail time. Okay. You're initially you were saying that this woman tried to kill a police officer.
Right.
And now you're saying that you won't even be seeking jail time. But even still, Kelsey knew that going into it. She could have probably pleaded out, but she knew that she couldn't have that guilty verdict on her record and get her reunification the way she wanted to have it with her son. So that's why she risked it all. She was like, I want a trial. I'm going to have my truth, because she was so confident in herself and her truth. It was her truth, you know? So, and then obviously, thank goodness for, you know, Judge Karp coming in and being neutral and being what he needed to be, which was neutral. That's all anybody was ever asking for, fair and neutral. And up until that point, we didn't have that. And it was really a scary prospect to think. I can't imagine being Tim. I mean, like if I was like, I have to go try this case with this judge, I would be like, no, like, you know, I would almost be like saying to my client, take a plea, because I'd be so afraid, because, you know, the judges do the sentencing, you know, like the prosecution recommends the sentencing, but the judge decides the sentencing. So even if the prosecution said, we're not looking for jail time, can you imagine if Kathleen McCarthy Naiman was doing the sentencing?
There was no chance. That woman was the closest to the Antichrist I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She's a scary woman. Like that was scary. Like that would be really scary.
She's evil. Evil.
Imagine that woman's still a judge right now in reality. That's just hard to believe. It really is. Yeah.
I mean, really, it's a shame, really appalling. I agree with you on that. And just the whole thing. And like, you know, whenever I listen to that audio, and every once in a while I do, because I have it in my saved things, you know, and it just comes, I come across it and I'm like, it's so heartbreaking. One, to hear Tim, who is like fighting for his client, but like almost like in a dad kind of way. He's so wrapped up in it. It's not just like, oh, I got this client and I'm trying to do my best job for her. You can hear like his anguish, and, he F-bombs at the end and stuff too. And, and they even had to say, counsel, watch your language as she storms off. And he was like, what? And then you hear Kelsey crying. It's like, oh my God.
It's painful. It's painful to listen to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable. And so like when you see, I don't know if anybody subscribes to Kelsey's Substack, but when you see her writings about that time when she was in jail, it's, it really does. It gives you a little bit of insight into her mindset and how she was thinking. And like when she first went to jail, every day that she was there, she thought she was getting out the next day. Can you imagine that? Every day she was there, she was like this, she's writing in her journal, in her diary. And it's kind of like, I think, I'm hoping that I'm going home tomorrow, like whatever. But no, she didn't go home tomorrow. She didn't go home the next day. And she didn't go home the next day. Instead, she stayed there from, September 10th or whatever, 11th, all the way to December 23rd. And every single day she thought it was the day she was going to be going home.
Yeah.
And like just to think about how heartbreaking that was for her after just recovering from a gunshot wound, losing her child, and she's isolated in jail for something in her mind that she knows more than anybody, that's a crime that she didn't commit. Like she's like, I didn't do this thing that you said that I did. Like she always stood by that. It never has wavered on that. And just like, to me, when you sit there and you say, oh, we don't know, she might just, lose her mind in any moment, at any second. Okay, well, she was in jail all that time. Did she do anything in jail that caused anybody concern? Because being in jail is not a fun thing to be. She got through all of that somehow. She got through the whole trial somehow, didn't lose it, whatever. She seemed to be very composed, actually.
Yes.
Actually, a lot more composed than Sweaty Justin when he was up on the stand. Like he was like all fidgety and nervous and everything else for that 20 minutes. This woman's on trial for her life over here, and you're like 20, 15, whatever, maybe even 10 minutes, right, Lauren? He wasn't on for long. 10
Not
minutes
long.
on the stand, and he seems to be like, kind of sweating it out. But she's been through all of that, and she's still okay. I mean, it's okay for people to have mental health issues. Like, who doesn't? Like, who
doesn't in this day and age,
in any day and age?
Also,
now we used to not be able to talk about it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's the truth of it. But I mean, like, who doesn't? And the fact that she's dealing with it and she's talking about it, that's the important factor. It's like, if we start taking children away from parents who have mental health issues, we better start opening up some orphanages. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And let's not forget about the PO from hell, the parole officer who went in her cell and then tore up pictures of her child. I mean, I'm sorry, but if anything was going to put her over the edge in jail, it seemed like that would. And somehow she kept it together and didn't lose her mind in that.
Wow.
It was disgusting. I
never heard that story. That's on the Substack. I must have missed that.
No,
I think she does talk about it in one Substack journal entry. But go ahead, Lauren.
Okay.
Explain that thing with the. It's online. You can look it up, Mazza. But go ahead, Lauren.
Gator Boy came out with it. I think it was after the trial or before the trial. I can't remember, but it was before her Substack got big, anything like that. She had this parole officer who was terrible to her, another female, right? So it's even more disgusting. And she came back one day from her cell, and all her pictures of baby C were torn up. Just disgusting. And he released the name of the parole officer, pictures of her. And all of that. But he broke that story. I mean, it was just the things that even we know about that she was dealing with and having to go through in the lowest place that you can be in jail. And then they're doing that to you.
Too. Her life was threatened when she was in there as well. And so she had to be, isolated, and she was in solitary, whatever, which like that people like, well, that's good. Like, at least she's, I guess at least she's doesn't have a chance of being, murdered while she's in there. But like that's an awful type of way to be. Like, can you imagine like not being able to talk to people, and especially if you like, for anybody who has never met Kelsey, if you actually meet her, she's a very sociable person. Like she wants to communicate, she wants to talk. She's just so like outgoing in that way. That must have been so hard for her. And I know that, she's talked about it, and Courtney Healy really helped her get through all of that, because she could have visits from her legal team, and that was basically it. So Courtney would make sure she visited her all the time and was talking to her, because that would be sometimes the only communication that she got at all would be to talk to Courtney.
Courtney, hero in this story.
Yeah, I mean, think about how terrible that would be. You've been shot. You've been charged with a horrible crime. You've been sent to jail. You've lost your child, and you have no one. You don't have anybody you can talk to. There's nobody. You don't have visitors. You don't have you have nothing. You have like a 1-hour phone call a week. That's what you have. Imagine that. I think actually it was a 15-minute phone call a week. Yeah. That she was able to have. Like, can you just imagine that? And I look at it from a mom standpoint, not just Kelsey's being a mom, but Kelsey's mom. Like,
right.
Just like, somebody that Kelsey refers to as her best friend, her mom, Lauren, having to endure all of that too. And having a child, like that's another real heartbreaking thing about this story. When they released the video of like Lauren being at the house, like I play that video in my mind. Like I try to like stop it, like, you know what I mean? Cause it's so distressing as a mom. And like my child, that's how I got involved in this case. Like my child, I have a daughter who's a beautiful blonde young lady too. And is the same, like she's like virtually the same age as Kelsey. They're like 6 months apart. And like when you see Lauren coming out of that house after Kelsey's been shot, and she just doesn't, like, she's just like, what just fucking happened? Like what happened? And just everything. So she went through it all too. It's been it. And again, it hasn't even been a year. When you add up all the things, that have happened to this family in a year, holy crap, So I just am praying just for all good things going forward, and it is baby steps, literally and figuratively, and it is going to take a while. But look at how much better we are now than we were, like less than a year ago. Right. And that's how we have to really look at it. It's still a process. It's still ongoing. The support is still needed. The attention to the case is still needed. That's very important. I can tell you from some inside sources, like that, this case is looked at, it's noticed, it's watched. That doesn't mean anybody's getting favorable treatment. It just means that it's getting the attention it needs to get. And part of it is all of you, making sure that the things are being done correctly. Yeah.
I remember the story.
I think that's...
Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to go along with Lori. It was sometimes we often forget that because it was Kelsey that shot it. Kelsey that had these things happen to her, but Lauren was there. Her mom was there. She suffered trauma because of what she saw, what she heard, and to think that isn't played in her mind daily, I'm sure. That is a whole nother level of this. This affected more than just Kelsey, and that makes all of this so outrageous as well.
Yeah, and not to mention that Lauren and Will and Kelsey's dad also had a relationship with that child that they were denied for zero reason. There was no reason why they couldn't have continued to have a relationship except someone deemed that they couldn't, and that was very unfortunate. So
disgusting.
They lost, they almost lost their daughter, like literally lost their daughter, almost lost their daughter. And had to endure all of that and her days in the hospital and the surgeries and all the things that she went through. And then we're not being permitted to even see their grandchild whom they had cared for, that babysitted for, spent so much time with. Like there was no reason for that. It was that was just cruelty. Like at that point, like I can't even imagine it as a human being. If my child was going through that, to say like you grandparents cannot see this child or whatever. Like, no, like the more people that love your child, the better off your child is. That's bottom line.
Yes.
Period, you know?
Yes.
And that's all they wanted to do was just love on the child. They asked and they tried and they did all the right things. And like all, you know, they didn't even need to see him alone. They could go over and have a visit. Like, nope. Think about that. For why? What was the purpose for denying them, Caidyn's, Baby C's grandparents? What was the reason for denying them seeing that child? What was the reason for that? You could have arranged it any way. If you felt there was a safety concern, which there was not, but even if you felt there was a safety concern, come over and spend some time with him here. Like, you know, they would have, you know, gotten their car and driven over there immediately. Like, seriously, they were that invested in being able to see him. So I can't even fathom the reason. I can't even understand why that didn't happen. Like, and unless it was just abject cruelty, you know, I don't know. Evil. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're not helping the child. That's not helping the child, you know.
That's what I was just say. This was someone, and these people were people in Baby C's life every day nearly.
Yep.
So you are literally taking that from your child. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the sad part is, like, I feel personally, my humble opinion, they kind of had already written, you know, Kelsey off at that point, figuring she's not going to make it, whatever. And then, like, you know, and they kind of had their own plan in place that she wasn't going to be part of this child's life anymore. So why have these grandparents in his life either, you know? And it's just sad.
Surprise, mother.
Yeah.
We back.
But unfortunately for them, that didn't happen.
Yep.
And, you know, so we're marching forward, and Kelsey is going to be in her son's life, and her parents are going to be in her son's life. And thank goodness for him, because, you know, he needs that. And everybody, I mean, you know, I had a great relationship with my grandmother growing up. Like, grandparents matter, you know.
Yes.
And my kids with my parents, I mean, you know, they like my parents a lot more than me, you know, just saying. You know, the grandparents are great for that. You know what I mean? They just like indulging and loving, and every kid deserves that kind of relationship with their grandparents.
Yes. Absolutely. Listen, Karen, superheroes, seriously strong women who are ladies. The best slogan, Massachusetts ever. Like it.
I like that one too.
I like both of them.
Yeah.
I like them both, but I think I am going to do the Massachusetts one.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that one like edges the other one just a little bit. You know?
Yeah, I think so too. I'm like on the fence myself. Let me just make note because I got to make a red shirt for you.
Yeah, I'd love the red shirt. So I don't get.
Do we have the long sleeves yet?
We do, but it's the one that's heavy. Like it's almost like a hoodie without the hoodie.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a sweatshirt.
I think I had accidentally made two of them that were both long sleeve, but they both were heavy. So I actually had to delete one of the items. So I have to go back and find the t-shirt long sleeve version.
That's the one I want. Yes.
I got to find that. Yeah. I'll make note of that.
Yeah, that store is great, Maza. I mean, was it Emily?
It looks fantastic.
Did Emily come up with the color? Like she found the color for you?
Yes.
She did. Yeah, we were live on the
She's
air.
so good.
I remember. Yeah. I don't know how she does it, but yeah, she's like, I'll have that. You know, whatever. It's like red 2457. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, that's the code.
Her
I'm like,
brain's incredible.
I'm like, that's it. That's the code. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She broke the code, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that red too. That's awesome. Like if I had that red shirt on, I feel confident I'm not going to get hit by things. They're walking.
I probably should get a red shirt myself because if I'm going to wear it on the air, you know, my background's always black. So
that would look great.
Oh, that would that you're right. Like even if you did the red T-shirt with the you know, I like the one with the patch on it. It's nice. Yeah.
I threw the patch on the short sleeve ones for sure. I didn't like them on the long sleeves with the patch, so I didn't put them on those. So I was like,
yeah. But like
with a
I
short
like
sleeve.
every morning, like I go out and walk my dog who sounded he moved. He's sound asleep over here. I could hear him snoring earlier. I was like, that's not me. I'm not having sinus problems.
Yeah.
But anyway, I always like try to wear something really bright, and like I'll wear like something really bright red or bright orange or whatever. But like so now, because it's so warm out, like in the wintertime or in the fall I'll wear like a sweatshirt, but like now I'll be either wearing a tank top or a t-shirt, but like a red t-shirt, like that bright red t-shirt, that would be awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got to get some new products in there. I'll re-release series. I'll call it Series 2 is what I'll call it. We'll call it Series 2. So that'll be good. Yeah, I got to get some myself. I got to buy some. I'm like, I got to buy my own shirts too, so I can wear them on the air and be like, look at me modeling them off.
Well, we'll make a little range of time where like we'll all wear our merch, and then
Yeah.
a merch date.
I know.
We'll have a merch date,
Right.
But, like,
I want the long sleeve shirt, and then I'm gonna order it and then wear it. I like sporting other people's stuff. Like I sport Emily C's FOIA and find out. So I'll wait.
Yeah.
Then Mazza's all wear. Yeah, we got to support each other. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll model Maz's merch.
Right.
And I always run into this guy when I'm walking my dog in the morning. That's always like, I saw you on Mazza last night. So like I'll be like, yep, got my shirt. I'll be like, if you're watching, Paul, hi Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah. There's sometimes a lot of people that like see things or watch things like even after, or they do the replay that we don't know about, but like whatever. I don't even know this guy's last name, but he always stops me and tells me like, I saw you on well, I'm like, whatever. He's a big Karen Reed person, but anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like a celebrity in my own mind. I'm a celebrity in my own like tiny town.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, thank you for being our emotional support attorney for this case, Lori, because I know we all feel that way, and the way you break it down has just been awesome. And I thank you for that. We need it with these ones, and you definitely for us. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do it, and like I saw the injustice of it all like very early on, and like I did also see like. You always want to be able to help. And like in this particular situation, I felt like I could really lend something to it because of my family law expertise, because it kind of had both things going on. And family law is very different than a lot of the other things that we see, So when Mazza first asked me that, it's funny because my friend, and I'm not name dropping because Kelly Reed had asked me like, before like Mazza asked me to be on, she was like, oh, do you think you would ever like go, because now this stuff is heating up with Kelsey, and do you think you would go on with Melanie or like Nurse Kim or whatever? And so I kiddingly said to her, well, I don't know, you know how shy I am, like teasing her because she knows I'm not shy at all. But then like nothing ever happened, and they didn't reach out to me, and they have a different kind of a platform. They don't really do like a lot of guests. I mean, I know Nurse Kim has like Betero on and stuff like that, but it is a different kind of vibe with them, and Melanie does her own thing. I watch her all the time. She's fantastic. But it's not like she does a lot of guest type of stuff, So then I like it happened to be like, whatever, visiting my daughter one weekend, and like Mazza was like, do you think you would come on and do this? And I was like, yeah, okay.
There we go.
I'm just coming home from Vermont. I'll be a little bit late, but yeah, I'll do it. And then that's, that was actually my first appearance. And so like before that, I was just mulling law on X. Like nobody really knew. I didn't even have a picture, so nobody knew what I looked like. So now I've scared you all.
No, I remember we were private messaging a little bit too. Yeah. I remember we were private messaging for a while there. Originally, I didn't know if you were an attorney or just something, because sometimes people have like the law in their name, but they're not really lawyers. And I'm like, then we started to talk, and I'm like, I think I'd like to have Lori on my show because she seems to know a lot about this. I like to have people that have like a vested interest in the story that's being discussed. And I said, I think she'd be really great to come on the show. I don't think I'd ever seen you physically before on camera anywhere. So I brought you on. I'm like, why don't you come on the show?
I had never. You were the first one to take a chance on me, and you don't know what you're gonna get. And then you end up with a cow story. But
right, exactly. This is I help you out to get you started on camera, and you pay me back with the cow story. Move away
It's-
from us.
That story is legendary. You see it,
It is.
mentioned in chats all around the
Oh, yeah.
community. It is
Yeah. I
legendary.
I can't do anything. And people like put the little cow emojis there.
Yeah.
It's like, Turtle
Fantastic.
Boy's got the turtle and I've got the cow.
Yes,
Yeah.
have the cow.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Not in a good way. Oh
Oh.
my goodness. But it
That's
is.
funny.
It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I had already been involved in the case, like online and like commenting on the things that were going on and in the family court type of stuff. And when the grandparent visitation complaint had gotten filed, I analyzed grandparent visitation rights and stuff like that. And I had already been kind of in contact with, Kelsey's family and all of that kind of stuff, but people didn't really know any of that stuff. But like, I was just kind of like in the background doing these things and helping them out and offering my expertise. So I was actually kind of surprised to hear from Mazza because I mean, like I had commented on the things and whatnot, but I was like, yeah, sure. But it was just funny because Kelly Reed was like, oh, do you think you would go on with Melanie or whatever? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I was like, well, I don't know. I'm really shy,
Yeah.
He was like, yeah.
I'm always like, when it comes to shows like this, and because it was a different story than Karen Reed too, I was also like, I realized like a lot of not every Karen Reed person that typically have been on my fundraisers for that.
Yeah.
Was talking Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So I said, I think what I want to do is because I was like, sometimes I want to see like, is there anybody else I've never been on my show before that's talking about Kelsey that could come on to talk about it. So I just started to throw out feelers. And we just messaged a couple of people, see what they say. And you were one of the people I had in mind. I'm like, let's talk to Lori here. And I don't think I even knew your name was Lori. I just knew you as Mullen-Law at the time.
Yeah.
And I saw Lauren talking about it. Lauren, I'd already known about it. It might have been on a show or two with her prior to that. And I saw Lauren. I'm like, let me message Lauren. I just wanted to see if I could get people together that would be interested in talking about this case. And then our whole group of people just kind of came together and me and Lauren would alternate. And it just worked out perfectly.
I mean, in fact, I used to watch I used to watch the fundraisers you guys were on together before I got involved with it with you guys. But maybe you even used to see me in your chat and stuff because I was watching the fundraisers and that's how I kind of got familiar with. I mean, I knew you, Mazza, from even just the Karen Reed case and knowing that and things like that. But like I was following, I think you used to even have on Boston Bees sometimes. Was it?
Yep.
Yep. And Britt and like Lauren. I see Lauren on. But yeah, I didn't know any of you guys, but now we're besties. Whoop, besties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Silver lining and stuff like this. You meet some awesome people and definitely grateful for that as well.
Yeah. And then just being able to be at the trial and meet everybody and just like doing our trial breakdown. I mean, that was like a lot of fun and just so great to be in the moment of it all and like be able to reiterate like what we saw and what we experienced. And I think a lot of people really did enjoy that discussion. And then having Mark join us. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. Those are fun nights.
They were.
We needed those laughs after those long days.
Yeah.
Better was great. I'm happy. I like how it all worked out perfectly too. Where me and Mark didn't make it throughout the week, but we both happened to be there the day it all ended. Yeah, it all came together right at the end. It was like things were just. I was so bothered by the fact I wasn't out there for Karen Reed's verdict because I was out there for Karen Reed's verdict the first year, but I wasn't out there the second year. It ate me alive for a year. It just did. I couldn't be there. And so what happens is I can only take vacation in certain times. So I always have to pick my spots when I do it. And because it was June last year, sometimes there's people that are on vacation and I have to cover. So because I don't know exactly when or where a Karen Reed case may end, I can't get that time off in advance. I have to almost be like, right here, I'll take off. Yeah. So I did that with the Kelsey thing. I think it was a week before. It was like the Friday before. I had literally, it was after work the Friday before.
I'm so glad that worked out. I'm so glad that worked out then. Yeah.
I was pinpointing what days I was going to take off. I said, just take off. I was like, should I take off Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday and Friday, Thursday and Friday? Finally, I said, this is what I'm going to do. They're predicting 3 days. I don't believe it's going to be 3 days. I bet you it's going to go 4 days. It always goes longer. I'm going to take off Thursday and Friday. If it happens on Wednesday and I miss it, I guess I'm out of luck. Yeah. And that was the chance I took. And then it happened to happen on Thursday. It just worked out.
And you know
It was
what? You
great.
needed the Friday off anyway, because that had been a long week.
Yeah.
You were working all day. We were in court all day. Then we were streaming all night long, you know, with everything. And then back at it in the morning. You're back at work in the morning. You're trying to catch up, I'm sure, like before you doing the stream on what happened in court on that day. And so there wasn't a lot of free time. So I'm sure that Friday, you know, I was, you know, like
I was gassed the next day. Yeah. I don't even know when I got out of bed the next day. I think I was in bed till about noon. I was just like,
it's like a mental thing too. It's like, that's what I'm
Sure.
saying. It's like we were all so invested in it. And then I always have to remind myself, can you imagine me and Kelsey? Can you imagine me and Kelsey's mom?
oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, like to have that, just that adrenaline release of like that, not guilt, like whatever. And finally it's behind you and you finally feel like you can like sleep, or like, you know, it's kind of like after the day after Christmas, you know what I mean? It's like, so I finally feel like I can relax and I can rest and it's all behind me, but only like multiplied 5,000 times, you know, like, I just can't even imagine what that felt like, you know, but thank God.
What a run. What a run for sure. It was unbelievable.
Mhm.
Well, why don't we give our final thoughts? We'll wrap up. And then Lauren, Common Sense Investigator, is going to be live right after this. She's going to be talking about Turtle Boy. She has some ideas to help out Turtle Boy. But she's going to be proposing. Aiden's called on content creators to help him out. Lauren's stepping up in that mission as well. She'll be using her platform next for that as well. So, Lauren, do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead, Lauren. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay,
Lauren.
yeah. We're just going to be going over an old episode and looking for those places where intent could be found and where he could, you know, explain what he meant, because we all know this is BS. He didn't, you know, intimidate anyone. It was something he believed in, and so it's awesome. I think Ozzy G has the big spreadsheet him and Mary B have worked on, and so we're all just taking chunks of them. We're going to do it either in our spare time or live. That attention can be brought to the case, and we're going to look at it. So definitely doing that. But for Kelsey's case, I'm just excited that things are going so smoothly, and baby C is getting his mom back in little doses, but I know that is going to add up to major time, and everything is going to be right in their world again. And then I'm excited for Kelsey to get her a little sense of this with her civil case, which I know she will win. And I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. So, but yeah, I hope more people will step up with our Queen Audrey at the next select board meeting, and talk about things other than strips. And we'll be here in the meantime either way. So but
exactly.
Actually, based on what Lauren was saying, I was actually going to also say thank you, Audrey. I know that you weren't there tonight, but like this is, you know, the reason why Maz is even on tonight is because of the select board meetings, and Audrey has been a true champion. I mean, like when you look at Audrey and she lives in the town and she's going there, it's not an easy thing to do, because things like that are risky, you know, like you don't know if there's going to be, you know, retaliation and things happening. And, you know, you got to give, she's like really a badass to be able to go out there and do that. And the first time she went, she was all nervous, and now she's so proud and she's so like strong with it. I just love it. I love the champion that Audrey has become with that. So grateful for Audrey in this community. And I'm grateful for all the people that show up all the time, Azza. People that continue to donate to Kelsey. We see you. I see you. I'm happy to be part of it all. I'm always happy to answer questions. As you know, you people ask questions. I'm always happy to, if I see them, I do answer them. But please continue to keep supporting Kelsey and looking this way, because she really still does need it. We're getting there, but that whole thing took a lot, and you couldn't have done it without this. She couldn't have done it. Like, so you're all responsible for where we're at right now. And I just a real heartfelt thank you. And thank you, Maza and Lauren, for all you've done.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. And thank you too for your time and efforts and everything you've done, and keeping us up to date on all the things we may or may not know about. You know, we appreciate that as well. So you're the true insider.
I try. But and so just one more thing. So like next, just so you know, again, next week, Monday, there's like just a status thing. That's not anything to go to court for. Nobody will be there. It's an 8 o'clock Zoom conference. I'm not even sure if there'll be a public link for it. That's just a status. And I really do think it's more like what's going on with the GAL. Has that already been set up? Is, just like administrative review type things to make sure things don't get lost in the shuffle. But I do feel like probably within a month or so, you might see another motion come out from Attorney Hess looking to reduce the supervision, kind of to graduate up to some more extra parenting time and some unsupervised parenting time. So I think that's the direction that we're going in. And then the GAL being appointed, I don't have any concerns about the GAL. I don't have any concerns about Kelsey's ability to navigate the GAL and her mental health issues. I might have some concerns about Justin's ability to do that, but that's not my problem. But, but that's going to be there as well. It's not just a one-sided thing, but everything is going the way I would expect it to be going as a family law practitioner at this point.
All right. Well, Lauren and Lori, I thank you so much. L and L, I thank you both so much for your time this evening. And the Andover Select Board tonight, no Audrey, and nobody else showed up to back her up except for the great people. But that's all right. It's been a great night tonight. Talking grapes instead of cows has been fantastic. Talking chicken wings and not cows has been fantastic. So I can't thank you guys enough. I'll be in touch with you guys too. Well, I'm going to figure out another fundraiser for Kelsey soon.
Yes.
And I might have a crazier idea in mind for a Kelsey Fitzsimmons fundraiser. We'll see. Might have another idea.
Let's get crazy.
We'll see. Yeah,
Crazy.
we'll see. We'll see what we do. But other than that, I can't thank you both enough. Love you both dearly. And Lauren,
you
Common Sense
guys.
Investigators on live next after this. So track down Common Sense Investigator on YouTube and Mullen Law on X, at Lauren Katie on X. And you two both have a great evening. Thank
All
you
right.
both
Bye,
for
guys.
joining us.
Thanks for having us. Love you.
Yes, anytime.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into Madison Media tonight. I appreciate it greatly, and I'll be live again probably this weekend. We'll see. Probably this upcoming Saturday. So tonight was a special edition of Madison Media on a Monday night. And thank you guys so much for your time today. And please have a great day. Thank you from Mark, and take care. Bye-bye.